I was coming from west with a car full of ganja, full of ganja, full of ganja. Driving so skillful, me no try make no swerve, try make no swerve, try make no swerve. But as me reach up a junction, the vehicle a malfunction. Me say to myself, what is this? But me keep me composure, no one cops pull me over. So me never try get panic because me car full of herbs, full of herbs. And if them catch me lot of time, me a go serve. Car full of herbs, full of herbs. And if them catch me lot of time, me a go serve.
Shit.
Shit. Really feel it.
It's here.
When you talk about the ganja,
What do you think of Jamaica?
you think of Jamaica?
Of course.
You think of reggae?
Think of Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
Despite being synonymous with the culture and music of the island, cannabis has not been legal in Jamaica for more than 100 years. Sanctions by the international community have prevented Jamaica legally cultivating and selling some of the world's most potent natural cannabis. In the 70s and 80s, the American government went so far as to put naval and aerial blockades around the island in an attempt to stop the smuggling of cannabis. It didn't work. But with full-scale decriminalization happening in Uruguay and US states like Colorado and Washington, Jamaica is talking about legalizing it. And that's a step that could potentially transform this tiny island's third world economy into something approaching a first world one. In October 2013, Member of Parliament Raymond Price put forward a motion that renewed debate over legalizing cannabis in Jamaica.
I moved a resolution in Parliament which calls for the decriminalization of ganja for personal use, for medical use, as well as for religious purposes.
Not long after Mr. Price's motion, a new private company was listed on the Jamaican Stock Exchange. It was called Ganja.
Professor Henry Lowe has taken to patent a lot of Jamaican old wives' tales and cures.
I'm Henry Lowe, the chief scientist and the executive chairman of the Biotech R&D Institute, as well as the recently launched Ganja company. I was part of the team that developed the first product from ganja called Canisol way back in 1972, helped to treat glaucoma.
I am from rural Jamaica. I grew up in a household where I would often see my grandmother gone out to the bushes and come back with various plants and herbs for various remedies. One of those was always ganja.
It was the colonial white ruling elite that first criminalized the plant, despite it being used as traditional medicine and religious sacrament prior to their arrival on the island. But now, many establishment figures are increasingly speaking out against the draconian attitudes towards cannabis.
Jamaica is a party to several international conventions which limit the room for maneuver in relation to ganja.
I've been involved in campaigns for the legalization of ganja for many, many years. It's a cause which I promote principally for human rights implications. I believe that the present laws are severely hostile to the basic rights of individuals to do what they please.
Unsurprisingly, not everybody's on board with this new push towards legalization.
I can't support no form of rehabilitation because I am fully aware of the harmful effects. When the THC acts on the cannabinoid receptors in the brain, then it affects perception. It causes some persons to have hallucination. It affects some of them memory. It affects concentration. It affects libido as well. It causes infertility in some persons. And I'm sure any Jamaican that you ask, when they're in school, the guys who smoke in the class did not do any schoolwork. There's clear evidence that it affects the development of the brain. I believe that if it becomes more readily available, that more persons will abuse it.
The ganja that you use to develop the products, does that come from Jamaica? Or?
That is proprietary information at this time. When I talk to you next year this time, I'll tell you.
Because the Jamaican habitat has ideal conditions for growing cannabis, the west coast of the island has always had lots of farms and export businesses, all of which have been illegal.
It is done on steep hillsides. Trees are left and the canopy covers what would then be planted between the trees.
Yeah, sometimes we have to run, go to another far place, you know. Yeah, go set up camp again, move up. Yeah, because time I'll hide me there, so I know how we are there and our secret, man. You see, couple times well. Yeah, we feel donated because you don't know, so we are depend on things I get mashed up. But we still have to go back again, go start over again. Go on another fire.
To some Jamaicans, the buying and selling of cannabis is an integral part of their economy, especially in low-income neighbourhoods such as Tivoli Gardens in Kingston.
I'm like, I just want to sleep tonight, you know? All the time I breathe that. I just want to have a pill of herbs.
We need to legalize it because the outside world is making money off it.
We need to have coffee shops to
have our own
show your ID and go purchase a little dry weed and sit down and comfortably, you know? Because we there so I draw a chalice and we're not comfortable. Police running pound. Go up and wall, only in a smoke ganja.
Smoke weed and float like a piece
of paper.
Take off like
here Jamaica.
If a high grade me a
burn a acre.
Chalice? Well, I just high in the
morning,
high in the
evening.
And I say high, I take it
For greetings,
everybody
healing,
the reason, the
meaning.
High.
Between January and July 2013, 71% of Jamaicans convicted in Kingston Magistrates Court were there for simple cannabis possession.
You can still see every day a dozen, 2 dozen people who've been lifted off the streets the day before, kept in jail overnight, charged with smoking a spliff or possessing a small quantity of ganja. They get a small fine. If they can't pay it, they go to jail for 7 days. They get a criminal record. They can't apply for visas.
And that affects intergenerational wealth. It affects the ability of the individual to advance in society.
This value like 12, 10 grand right now. Mostly I go sell like 100 bag and probably 200 bag. Yeah, to make back your money. This is a big business, you know. We have so much the best marijuana. And we have to run, we have a fight. Right now, me stand up here with this, you know, police can't pop in there, you know, it's a charge this. A big charge is to me right now, you know.
Once you have a ganja conviction, in a sense, you're marked for life.
So people are fall out of jobs quick right now more than all them I get a work. So that's why more people just turn to marijuana.
As well as people who sell the plant for their livelihood, there are also countless young Jamaicans who grow their own cannabis for personal use.
We are in an undisclosed location looking over Portmore in St. Andrew. This earth, they call it Terra Rosa. It's red dirt. Perfect place to grow.
We have a whole lot of those youths, street youths, willing to go find somewhere in the hill to grow this. And right now those kids are doing nothing. They just walk on the streets and beg. A lot of these youths will definitely take up farming just because of that.
How are we going to regulate it? Persons will need to obtain license to grow it. And I'm not sure how many of them would actually be able to pay for those licenses.
If you want to have license, you have to have this, you have to have that. Have the big farm them and only weed.
Yeah, again, I lie that again.
But of all the voices around the new debate, the most passionate come from the Rastafarian community, whose devotees use cannabis daily in religious ceremony and see the plant as sacred.
Weed is a degrading, derogatory term to decry and despise the herbs.
Even the Bible itself tells you that grass is for the cattle and herbs is for the use of man.
Well, this is Jamaican herbs that Peter Tosh would endorse and Bob Marley would love, you know. This is a peace pipe in the Rastafarian culture. They call it chalice. This is Jamaican coconut. So I lift the crown and give praises to His Majesty the King, see? So I bless and sanctify in the name of Jah
Rastafari.
Haile Selassie I, who is the conquering line of Judah. In the name of Jah
Rastafari.
we chant them down. Selah.
Peace, love and unity.
And the dew of Herman that descend upon the mountains of Zion. I've been to jail for just a small job, really. Yeah, and I've reported to a court of law and pay. I thought it was $200 some. So it seems to I and I like America has an agenda, innit? With these herbs as a big money making industry thing. Trying to penalize and sabotage our herbs, which is among the best, or if not the best in the world.
They signed some documents down here to kill out the herbs. Yeah. So they send in soldiers and so in the west area and cut down the herbs and so on. So I think to write a song because I couldn't get no herb to smoke.
Kill out the herbs, who signed the documents? Me, I wonder if I one of the minister from the parliament. Low rasta herb that I will sacrament. Well, tell them low we natural plant I we element. You lock me up off me herbs, say I evidence. And you come take away me herbs, and you fi charge, you fi negligence. Policeman, you fi act decent. When you see the herb, man, nobody hunter gun. Herb scares, we can't get none. Wonder if the rain you will fall, or I couldn't cut it down. Herb scares, can't get none.
As far as like tourism goes,
Oh
holy
my.
shit, tourism.
That's money for the country.
It would make going to California and the Netherlands that's like the second and third stop, but we all go to Jamaica first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Profits can be made from the growing and selling of ganja. I think the potential for Jamaica to market ganja, to make money out of it, have tourists smoke it and come here and enjoy it, quite apart from medical marijuana possibilities, I think they're so enormous that we should go the whole hog as Uruguay is doing.
Jamaica has denied itself for several decades to be a part of the evolution of the global cannabis industry.
Medical marijuana is over $2.6 billion a year. The time is ripe, and I know it can make a tremendous difference to the economy of Jamaica.